What's up everybody, it's RobinGaming here. So, Game of the Year 2015, this is always a big one of course, and before I get into it, I want to make it very clear that Game of the Year always is just a choice, right? It's never a thing that is set in stone that everybody agrees upon. No, there is no official Game of the Year. I see many people say that and they act like the Game Awards is the official Game of the Year or IGN's Game of the Year is the official one. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's all these particular sources coming with their personal Game of the Year, and so I will be doing the exact same thing today, but that is also what I mean to say is that, you know, today I'm going to be talking about what my Game of the Year was in 2015, but it doesn't have to be yours, and by all means let me know what your personal Game of the Year is in the comments of course, but let's get into my personal choice, because honestly, with how amazing of a year 2015 I think was for gaming, the choice for me was still pretty clear, honestly. So yeah, as I said, 2015 has been a really good year, and I gotta give some honorable mentions to, for example, Bloodborne, which was just a great surprise to me. I didn't expect to be liking that game as much as I did. I didn't think it was going to really be for me. Batman Arkham Knight was to many people I think a slight disappointment, but the thing was that I never really played any Batman games in the series, so this was my very first one, and I did definitely enjoy it quite a bit. I got through the full game and almost 100% completed it, so yeah, I enjoyed my time playing that. And then there's of course these really big ones like The Witcher 3 and like Fallout 4. Now with those, I have to be very honest, I didn't play them that much this year, and the reason for it is that I've been more busy than ever with school, with my internship, with making videos of course, which is still a big part as well. I just find that I don't have the time anymore to put 100 hours into these type of games, and that sucks. But at the same time, I do want to say that, you know, I played these games, both of them, for about 10 hours, and then I never really got back to it, and I might still do that at a later point, but it does also kind of tell you that, you know, those 10 hours I wasn't particularly impressed that much, even with how much people might have enjoyed The Witcher and Fallout, and even with how good of games they are, they just weren't, I guess they weren't as much for me as I hoped they would be, and so in those 10 hours that I played them, I just couldn't really be bothered to play them more than that. So, you know, as I said, I'm gonna try and get back to them, but I do think that even if I had played them like 50 hours, they would still not have been my Game of the Year in the end, because it's just not really my type of game as much, and I didn't enjoy them as much as I hoped I would. I just have to be very honest about that. But yeah, as I said, we've had some great ones. Also then I'm even forgetting stuff like Black Ops 3, which was pretty good. Until Dawn was a pretty big surprise as well. And yeah, I mean, in the end, I think 2015 has been a really good year, even with certain indie games that were real surprises, like Rocket League. Many people have been enjoying that, and I like it too. It got a bit repetitive, like after 10 hours already to me. So that was a bit of a shame, but you know, I enjoyed that one as well. Anyway, let's just get to it, okay? Because this is the big choice. This is what I ultimately have to talk about. Now, as I said, Game of the Year really is personal, and the reason I'm saying that is because my Game of the Year 2015 is, it's by no means flawless. It's a game that had many flaws, but nonetheless, it was hands down the one I enjoyed the most. So yeah, let's just review it. My personal Game of the Year of 2015 is... So Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain is easily my Game of the Year 2015, and the reason I'm saying that is simply for how much I enjoyed it. I played the original 4 main games in the series last year. That was the first time I got into it, and I really enjoyed that. And what the funny thing is that I went into Metal Gear Solid 5 with the complete wrong expectations. I went into it thinking I was not going to enjoy the gameplay so much, because I never really did with the other ones either, and that I was going to absolutely love the story. And that's what is so strange about this one, because I thought I was really going to enjoy it. As I said, I thought it was definitely going to be a contender for me for Game of the Year, but for all the wrong reasons, because in the end, what it turned out is that Metal Gear Solid 5 really was about the gameplay, and that's what made it so good. And I can say with full pride, I guess, that I put 120 hours into that game this year, and that's what I mean with stuff like The Witcher 3 and Fallout. I could never get into those after like 10 hours. I was just kind of done with them. I never really felt like continuing them, but with Metal Gear Solid 5, I just kept going, even to the point where I beat the game 60 hours in, and I still put another 60 hours into the single player, purely for the fact that I just loved the gameplay, and I wanted to absolutely do everything in the world. Hell, I've still not 100% completed it. But you know, that's kind of the thing. Metal Gear Solid 5 to many people, and especially to many fans, was seen as a slight disappointment. And I agree with that, because the story wasn't up to par, and because the game, you know, was, I guess, in a way incomplete, where it seemed like they cut the final mission and maybe even an additional chapter to the entire game. They just cut it because they didn't have time anymore. But that being said, this was the swan song. This was the final Hideo Kojima Metal Gear Solid game, and I think in the end it doesn't live up to the specific expectations that I had, but it does live up to the fact that I thought it was going to be a great game. Hell, it might have been even better than I thought it would turn out to be, because yeah, once again, you can check out my review, but the gameplay is so smooth. It is just great fun to play. Game plays in 1080p 60 frames per second. Just, you know, kind of like completing every mission. I love the ending myself. Many people are very divisive about it, but although the story was overall a little bit of a disappointment, there are still like 3 hours of cutscenes in there, and the opening scene was absolutely fantastic. The ending I thought was great, and a real mind-blowing thing. So I still kind of got my satisfaction out of the story as well, but as I said, it was the gameplay that was just super smooth, super fun. I completed even all the 160 side missions with pleasure, even though it definitely did get a bit repetitive towards the end. That's the thing, any game kind of like gets repetitive, and so yeah, I mean, what can I say about Metal Gear Solid 5? As I said, you can check out my review for my full kind of thoughts on it, but in the end, I really think this was a great swan song. Hideo Kojima has now pretty much left the Metal Gear Solid series behind, and I think he did that in style. I think Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain is easily the game I had the most fun with this year, and even though I had the wrong expectations going into it, I still enjoyed it, maybe even more than I honestly thought I would. So with that being said, Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain is my personal pick for Game of the Year 2015, so let me know your thoughts in the comments. What is your Game of the Year of this year? And then yeah, for now, thanks a lot for watching, and hope to see you again next time.